Now, when we look at the output, you will see that all the links that we have been able to print out using this our program are not part of the domain that we have given to the program. That means that these are external links that point to another website, not the very website that we are having as our target. So now what we are going to do, we are going to go back to our program to see how we can only print out links that are internal links that point to some section of the website that we have given to our program as target. So now I'm going to minimize this and then go back to our code and then see how we can achieve that. Now here we are iterating through the links that we have found, that we have extracted using our get links from URL, and then we are iterating through it and then making use of URL lib.parse.url join to make sure that we have a correctly formed URL link, and then here we are finally printing out the link. So before we print out the link, let's check to ensure that the link that we are actually printing out is an internal link. All right, so I'm going to make use of an if statement to check. So I'm going to say if I'm going to check if the target URL that we have as our target is within our link. So I'm checking if target URL a link. Then if this condition is true, then that is when I'm going to print the URL and then crawl the URL further for more links, so that I will not go outside my website and then start crawling through another website. So I'm checking to make sure that the target URL, remember the target URL is a combination of the string HTTPS plus our domain, which is the website that we are having as our target. Now, if this particular string is found within our link, that means it's an internal link. Then we are going to print out the link, and then we are going to explore the link further for more links. So now I'm going to save it and then go to my terminal and then run the script and then see whether it's going to print out only internal links. So I'm going to run this, okay, enter my password, and now let's see whether the program will only print out internal links. All right, so as you can see, our program is working. Yeah, it is printing out links, and all the links so far are links that are from our target website. So let's see the program till the program has reached the end, and then let's see whether all the links are links that are internal links. Okay, so what we are going to do, let's interrupt the program, because so far what we are having as output is just a repetition of the same links. So let's check. Let's interrupt the program by entering Ctrl+C. Okay, so now I have interrupted the program. So what we are going to do now, we are going to go back to the code again and then check to make sure that we don't print out more than one link twice. So let's check to make sure that the link we are printing out is a unique link. So I'm going to minimize this, and then I'm going to go back to the Sublime Text editor and to my code. Okay, so what we are going to do, I'm going to create a list and then populate the links that we are getting into the list, and then check to make sure that we don't before we print out a link, we have to check that list to make sure that that list has not been printed earlier. Okay, so basically what I'm saying here, I'm going to come to the main body of the program, and then I'm going to create a list called target, or let me call it link list, list, and then I'm going to create an empty list. So an empty list here, and then I'm coming over here and then check the link. Check if the link here, if target URL link. So we are checking if this target URL link, we have achieved that. Now we want to check if the link also is in our link list. Okay, so I'm using and Boolean operator, and okay, now to check if and link not in link list. Okay, So now I'm having two conditions together using by the AND operator. I'm joining them with the AND operator. Now, first of all, check that the target URL is a link. That means it is an external link. We have achieved that. And now we are performing further check to make sure that this link has not existed, has not been printed earlier. It is not in our linked list. Okay, so if this condition is all true, so now we are going to append it to our list. So we are going to append it, and then we are going to say link list, which is a list. Then we are going to invoke for method append of list append. So and then what we are appending is the link. Okay, so now we append the link into the list, and then we finally print out the link, and then now we invoke perform recursion in both the crawl links again to explore the link for more links. Okay, so now let's go back to the terminal and then run this, and then if there's any error, we fix the error. So I'll come back here. I'm going to clear the screen, and then I'm going to run this script. Okay, so our program is running. Okay, so far so okay. So far so good. There's no any we have not found any repetition of a link. All the links are unique. All right, so far we can say that we have been able to achieve. Okay, so we have an arrow Unicode decode arrow UTF-8 cannot decode byte in position invalid. Okay, so now let's see how we can check this error Unicode decode arrow. So okay, so now let's see how we can deal with this error, how we can correct this error. Okay, so we are having Unicode decode error because some of the links, some characters in the link have not been properly decoded, because here in line number 26 we are trying to decode it, since we want to apply regular expression to it, and regular expression will only be applied to a string. So we are decoding response.content, which is in byte that data type. We want to convert it to string data type, so we are invoking method decode on it. So some characters cannot decode according to this error. Codec cannot decode byte OX89 in position 0 in byte 30 byte. So what we are going to do, we are going to handle this error using try exception that we have been using before. So basically I'll just copy this error, Unicode decode error. So I'll go back to the code and then try to see how we can handle this error. So I'll come up here where we are doing the extracting the links, and then I'm going to embed this within try block. So I'm going to come over here, and then I'm going to write try, and then I'm going to now make sure I push this within the try block. So make it tab character. I'll push it using tab character within my keyboard, tab, and then I'm going to now accept the error. So I'm going to now accept Unicode decode error, and then if Unicode decode error occurs, I want the program to pass to do nothing. Could just continue running. Forget about it. I'm telling the program do nothing. Just go on, continue executing. So here where I'm telling it href do this, try get the response, make a HTTP request, get the request, assign the response to variable response, and then return it to the line of code that invoke this particular function, get links from URL, and then an error might occur called Unicode decode error. Now if this Unicode decode error occurs, do nothing, just continue working. All right, so now let's run the program again and then see whether we are going to still have this error. So I'm going to clear the screen, and then I'm going to run my code and then see whether we are going to have the error again. Okay, so but our program has run into another error again. So it worked, but we run into another error again. We have type error, non-type object is not iterable, and this occurred in line number 36. So for link and links, so let's go to line 36 and see what makes that error. So line 36. It's a line 36, we are iterating to rule links for links and links. So basically we are invoking function get links from URL in line number 34, and then when it got that links that are found on that particular URL, then assign it to variable links. So basically links is a list that contains links URL links as elements. So we happen to invoke this function get links from URL upon a link that does not contain any links on that page. That is why we are having it as none, and we are trying to iterate over a non type object, as we can see. So basically we invoke function get links from URL, we pass a link to it as URL, but that link does not contain links within it, so it will basically return none type, a none. That means there are no links. Okay, so also we have to make use of try except method to handle this error. So basically what I'm going to do, I'll just come up here and then I'm going to write try, and then I'm going to push this, all of this within the try block. So I'll push this, and then next I'm going to write except. So I'll come up here, and then write except. So I accept. What am I accepting? I'll go back and copy the arrow. Okay, come to the terminal here. Type arrow. So I'll just copy this type arrow. Copy it. Then I'll go back to the terminal again, and then okay, type arrow. So I'll just come up here, desktop. All right, so I'll paste it here, type arrow, and then if type arrow occurs, also do nothing, just continue executing. All right, so I'm now trying to handle this error. So and if we happen to come across a link that does not contain links on it, don't give me this error, just continue working, forget about it, go to the next link. So basically that is what I'm telling it. An error will occur, type error, and then we know that that type error is a non-type, so forget about it, just continue on to the next link. Okay, so now I've set the program. Now let's go back and run it again, and then see whether we are going to come across this error again or any other type of error again. So I'm going to clear the screen and then run this program again. Okay, so the program is fetching us more links. So I'm going to stop the program now, so that so I'm going to press Ctrl+C to stop the program. All right, so and then we move off to examine our output and then see how we can improve the program further. So I'll scroll up to the okay, so here we are. Okay, when we look at the output, you see that this link and this other link, they look very much similar. So this basically these two links is just a unique link, and this where we have the hash here is a section within this particular link. So we don't want to have a section presented to us as a unique link. So we want to be able to eradicate this so that we just have one single link given to us, instead of having a section of the link reprinted again as a unique link. So what we are going to do, we are going to go back to our code and then split this into two, and then return the first the mail link as a link, instead of having a section of the link printed out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the code here, and then before we perform the check here, we are going to spread the link and get rid of sections of a link printed out as a unique link. So I'm going to check if we have this hash a link. So if we have this a hash a link, then we are going to split this link. Okay, so I'm going to say link now. I'm going to invoke functions method split on it. So split, okay, split, and what I'm using as the criteria for the split, is the hash, and then I want it, and then basically this will split that particular link into two. So it is going to split this link into two. We have this part and then the other part that contains comment 12. So I want it to return the first element. So it's going to be a list that contains two elements, this first part and this second part, because it has been split across this hash symbol. So I want it to return the first element for me, which is the first part of the link. Okay, so link equals to I'm assigning it to the first part of this link after it has split it across this hash sign symbol. All right, so I'm going to save it, and then now I'm going to go back and run my script, and then see whether we have done away with that error. So I'm going to go back to the terminal. I'm going to clear the terminal and then run the script again. Okay, so as you can see, perfect. We have done away with that error, and our code has improved significantly. Okay, so let's see to the end if there's any more errors, and then see how we can also improve the code further. Okay, so let me stop the script. Let me stop the program. Control C to stop the program. So far we have been able to achieve our program objectives, which is basically a program that, given any URL, will crawl through the starting from the main page. Giving any domain, will start from the main page of the website, crawl through the links of that page, and explore the links for more links. So basically it is going to crawl the whole of the website, and then return to us all the pages that are contained in that particular website. So let me run this against my Phoenix Academy website, and then see the links that we are going to return using this our Python as program. So I'll come back to the terminal again. Now change the domain from pestlegama.com. Now let's run it against phoenixacademy.com, and then see whether we are going to have also the right output. So I'm going to run it again. But while you're running this program, please run it against a website that you have access to. Don't run it against my website, so that it won't looks like a denial of service attack on the website. So please run it against Metasploitable 2. Metasploitable 2, it has variety of web applications that you can try running this script on. So alright, so our script is working perfectly. So I'm going to stop the program by entering Control C, and then we are going to end the lecture. So Control C will stop the program.